So how's it going, Matt?
Oh, great. Oh, we're actually starting. Okay.
Yeah, we're starting. All right, here we go. So, first game, let's just go into some games we played recently. And we're going to begin with Senji.
Sweet.
So, Senji is a game for 6 players. Well, we'll get back to that. It plays up to 6. I think it probably is a 3 to 6. I actually don't know the minimum. But basically, it's kind of like a Risk-style game. 4X kind of global, expand through Japan and take things over, and you got all these cards that you use negotiation with and stuff. And I mean, people can look up the rules, but we're just going to go straight into what we think. Why don't you start?
I mean, the game's very enjoyable. Talking about the player count, I don't know why you'd play with anything less than 6.
I totally agree.
Yeah. I mean, maybe 5 wouldn't be too bad, but definitely 6 is what you want to aim to play with. So, the game though, I mean, it's very strategic. You got a lot of diplomacy. If you like diplomacy at all, this is it right here. Trying to, who do you trust your family with? You got your family cards to hand out, and I know the first time we played it, we were just handing family members out left and right, and you find out that's actually pretty detrimental if you give it to someone you don't trust, or that actually when I give it to people you do trust, that either you don't think will attack you, or if you don't actually plan on attacking them.
Yeah,
that's who you're trying to hand your people to. But
I think it's really cool because for the most part, like we've said before, your cards don't help you in the slightest. Right? None of your cards do anything for you. Like you can't use your own combat cards.
Oh yes, no, your own cards. You're right. Yeah.
You can't use your own combat cards. You can't use your trade ships. You can't use your family. You need to get rid of those, but you almost don't want anybody to use them on you.
Exactly.
So that's part of it's definitely a game where when you do your negotiation, you need to be trading up as much as possible. Yeah, it's good to trade like even values or trade, one card for one card, but even if you trade like your 4 for like 2 1s, like a family member in a trade ship or something, that I feel like that's still giving a 1-up on you.
You think so?
I think so. You think so? Matt hasn't thought this out.
Yeah.
But yeah, because like if you think about it, you give away, so you can use it in a combat, right, to score 1 extra point and then later get that 1 card you need. So it's like 2 things. Like maybe it's not as helpful, but think about it this way. If you trade off a 4 military and you get a 1 trade ship and a 1 family member, that 1 family member can possibly hit them really hard, like hit them for double points and give you point.
Right.
Or you can put it face down or face up for a point. That's just 1 card. And the next card, you can get 1 card like a ribbon or something that you need for those Hanafuna cards to complete a set. And then they go into a combat and play your 4, but there was only 2 dice rolled. So really, they only got a 2 anyway.
Speaking of that, the combat system in that is pretty interesting.
I totally agree. Basically, you roll. There's 6-sided dice. Each side of the dice has one of the 6 player symbols on it. When you go into a combat, you get points for how many guys you got there. Then you roll the dice, and you get any symbols that of your clan that's rolled count towards your side as well. But then you want to play a opponent's military card. Now, you obviously can't play the opponent that you're fighting,
right?
But you can play any other player's military card and gain the symbols of that color onto your side.
Right. It almost forces you to trade at least something with everybody.
Yeah, you really want to have everyone's cards in your hand because, you don't know what can be rolled. And as far as like the Hanafuna cards, like you're not sure who might have what at that time, so you want to have multiple options to trade. I mean, it's just really, really innovative. I like the combat.
Yeah, and the trade ships also brings another element of it. People are sitting there getting all these Hanafuna cards, and then you're like, well, you know what? I got this trade ship. Let me see what, hand me a couple so I got something to pick from. And also the fact that the last time we played it, someone won it without even fighting once.
He didn't fight?
I don't think he fought. No, people.
Well, he got fought.
He did not attack.
Right. I agree.
So, I mean,
I made the right choice.
What's that?
I fought him because it was like some random thing at the end of the game, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna attack Jeremy.
Well, after we see what can happen, you almost need to. There's no just letting people. it's almost like if you're not going to attack them, that's fine, but you need to try and coerce someone else to.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, and I get to thinking about strategies on that. You could play around with family members.
Oh yeah,
so hard.
Man.
You know, someone gives you their family member, and then it's like, well, look, if you, you know, you could start using those family members to get them to other people to either use against them.
Cross trade.
Yeah, or maybe it's someone is scared that person will attack them. So you're like, well, I got their family member. So if you don't want them attacking you, what are you going to give me for it? It's a ton of diplomacy.
It's
and
awesome.
in a very crazy 3 minutes.
Yeah. Well, I think it was like 4 minutes.
Oh, is it 4 minutes?
Yeah, it's something around there, right? Now, I mean, the one thing I will say about the game, we pretty much covered most of my topics on it, but I feel like it's almost impossible to come back if you're doing terrible. Because I did really bad, and there was like literally no options for me to come back at all. I mean, I don't think so.
That's possible, and there is, you know, with the what are you, a shogun in that, or what's the leader called, the emperor?
Emperor, yeah.
If you're the emperor, you can dictate a lot on.
It's huge.
Picking and choosing. Yeah, it's a big thing to be their emperor. So
yeah, it's the emperor pretty much will win you games, especially if you hold it for more than one round.
So rich get richer maybe on it, or
I don't know about that because literally.
Well, then everyone starts gunning for you.
All the other players can literally. It is definitely a gang up on the leader game.
Right.
You need to know who's in the lead and you need to target them because otherwise you have zero way to win.
And then they just stay in front and they can dictate, you know, if not explained or if you don't know, the emperor pretty much gets to choose who turn order on everything that happens, and pretty powerful.
Yeah, exactly. Great game. Great game.
Yes.
Definitely a must play with 6. When you play with less people, those areas become unavailable, and really even in the end I think positioning of the game matter. Like, I know the game's probably balanced.
You mean map layout? I'm assuming?
Yeah, right. The map layout, like, you can't just always be blue because a blue start's always in the same spot.
Right.
Can't be the blue clan or whatever they're called. And the thing is, I feel like the positions aren't balanced. Like maybe the guys that are on the tips of Japan have the better option, but I really think the balance come in those cards. I think some players have to negotiate better in that manner because they have to play with their cards and they don't just get a static location that does really well.
And that being said, the person who won was one of the people on the end on outreach, right? They only had one side to really be concerned with. So,
but then again, I think the other time we played it, I don't think he was on the end. Maybe not. I don't remember.
Oh, did he win the time before too?
No, it was Eric.
Oh,
I don't remember.
I was just saying.
I should look like that.
I'm just saying the person who didn't fight.
That's true. Yeah, he didn't fight, and he was in a safe position, and he could win through other victories.
2 people next to him pretty much allied with him, which I was one of them. But
it was probably just misplay on a lot of people. I mean, it was only the second time we played it,
right?
So